Her voice was steady, too steady. Not angry, not emotional, just factual. "My family will always come first," she said, "in every decision. Your second priority, maybe third." I remember the way the light caught the edge of her jawline when she said it. Sharp, final, like she was carving the hierarchy into stone. And I didn't argue, I didn't shout, I didn't plead. I just nodded, slowly, as if she'd handed me a map of my own future. "Good to know," I replied. But inside, something shifted, a quiet reordering, an emptying, because priorities define people, and she had just defined herself perfectly. Hours later, when the house was silent and her footsteps faded down the hall, I sat alone at the kitchen table, her words echoing. Not painful, not surprising, just clarifying. That night, the first bank account opened in my name only. The second followed. Then the property purchase, the investment plans, the quiet separation of every financial artery that once connected us. Not out of spite, out of preparation. I didn't know why. It was instinct, like stepping back from a cliff seconds before the edge crumbles. 6 months passed, and then the phone rang. Her voice trembled this time. "My brother's business collapsed. My parents' home is in foreclosure. My sister's in the hospital. We need money. A lot of it. We." That word again. And in that moment, her panic, her desperation, her sudden urgency, I felt it. The cliff finally broke, and I was no longer standing on it. The shift started small. A missing receipt, a tense whispering call in the hallway, a message on her phone she angled away from me. Not romantic, but urgent, coded, frantic. Her family. Always her family. I saw her stress building, but she never brought it to me. Not in a partnership sense, only in a transactional way. She didn't ask how I was doing. She didn't ask what I needed. She only asked what I could do, what I could provide. Every conversation became a test of endurance, hers to pressure me, mine to remain unreadable. "Can you cover this for now? They just need a little help. You know how important they are to me." The priority list replayed in my mind like a mantra she'd etched into my skull. Family first, you second, maybe third. I didn't challenge her, I didn't push back, but I watched. She started hiding bills, redirecting mail, calling her mother the moment I walked into a room, as if trying to rewrite the narrative I hadn't even spoken yet. She wanted something from me, and whatever it was growing. The final sign came quietly, a neatly folded paper on her desk. Projected expenses. My name at the bottom under the column labeled Potential Support. A budget built on my future sacrifices. She wasn't asking for help, she was planning for it. And the realization hit like ice. Not betrayal in the romantic sense, but a deeper one. I wasn't a husband in her mind. I was an asset, a resource, a funding strategy. And once I saw it, once that truth slipped under my skin, something inside me crystallized. I would not be used. Not by her, not by her collapsing world, not by the people she ranked above me. So I waited, silent, still, patient, because storms don't need to be chased. They come on their own. I started paying attention to the small things, her late-night calls, her selective transparency, her increasing insistence on unity only when money was involved. She became softer in her tone, overly affectionate, as if rehearsed, her guilt leaking through the cracks. And I stayed calm. My accounts grew quietly, untouched by her emergencies. My investments matured under the radar. The property deed, mine only, sat locked away in a safe. Every financial step she assumed still existed, didn't. She didn't know she was living inside a version of our marriage that no longer financially included me. I watched her rehearse the speech she'd give me. She'd hover by the mirror, practicing sympathy she didn't feel, pain she couldn't fake well enough. "We're in trouble. They need us. You're the only one who can fix this." But she never said we when things were good, only when things crumbled. The night before she finally came to me, she cried alone in the living room. Not grief, fear. Fear that the man she'd ranked second would now be forced to rescue the people she ranked first. She thought she could control the narrative. She thought she could use obligation, guilt, duty. But she forgot one thing. I had already stepped out of the frame. The day she approached me, she tried to look composed. She wasn't. My brother's bankrupt, she said. The house, my parents, they need $50,000. My sister's medical bills are another $80,000. We have to step in. We. There it was again. I slid a folder across the table. Her eyes widened, not in fear, but in confusion. What's this? My financial structure, I said calmly, updated 6 months ago. She opened it. Separate accounts, separate assets, separate everything. Her breath stuttered. You moved everything? No, I corrected. I moved myself. You just didn't notice. Her face collapsed. Shock, disbelief, betrayal. The same betrayal she once delivered to me, only without remorse. You can't just detach like that, she whispered. I held her gaze. You already did. She tried to negotiate with emotion. Tears, raised voice, accusations, promises. None of it mattered. You can't just detach like that, she whispered. I held her gaze. You already did. She tried to negotiate with emotion. Tears, raised voice, accusations, promises. None of it mattered. You knew my family would need help eventually, she said. That's what families do. You're right, I replied. Families help each other. I let the silence fall, then added, but I'm not your family. Not in the hierarchy you built. Her face went pale, the truth finally sinking its teeth in. I stood, walked to the safe, and placed the deed, my deed, in front of her. Everything I built from that moment forward was mine, alone, by your rules. She reached for my hand. I stepped back. You didn't lose me today, I said. You lost me the moment you ranked me below people who would never bleed for us the way I did. And that was the moment she broke. Not loudly, not theatrically, just quietly. The kind of break that comes from realizing the weapon you forged ended up cutting only you. I left the house that night, not in anger, not in victory, just done. Some truths don't explode. They drain. And when they're finished, there's nothing left. She called my name as I walked out the door, small, fragile, too late. For the first time, I didn't turn back. Some people only understand your value when they can no longer reach it. And some endings aren't tragic, they're necessary. I wasn't her second priority. I just stopped being available to be ranked at all.